Today we are going to be talking about the CSUMB Sustainability Analysis, and our group is Daniel, William, and Hannah in the online environmental section. Today we will be discussing the overview of CSUMB's Climate Action Plan, then go into detail about the various task forces within the plan that include utilities, transportation, waste, people, communications, and prosperity. For each task force, we will examine how each part of the plan aligns with the AB 32 and its scoping plan, and its strengths and weaknesses. Lastly, we will state our proposed recommendations that we feel are the most important. For the CSUMB Climate Action Plan, the main focus is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions that are associated with CSUMB's operations, with the goal that our school will reach carbon neutrality by the year of 2030. In order to do this, CSUMB is focusing on energy conservation and renewable and innovative energy systems. To track the progress being made, CSUMB will take data every 3 years and record the carbon footprint in MTCDEs. That stands for metric tons of carbon dioxide unit of impact. The action plan breaks down into sections called task forces that emphasize different areas of CSUMB that could be improved for better sustainability. The first task force that we will talk about is transportation. The AB 32 established a greenhouse gas reduction for California in 2015. The scoping plan focused on making major strides towards reducing the number of miles people drive through more sustainable local and regional housing, land use, and transportation planning. One of its strengths is that there are many possible ways to reduce single-occupant car trips. Some options that the Climate Action Plan has brought up includes establishing priority parking for carpools, hybrids, and electric vehicles, car-free Fridays, and creating more online learning options. All of these options do not require extensive construction or modification that makes the possibility for change easier for CSUMB. One of its weaknesses is that 70% of commuter mode to campus in 2010/2011 was single-occupant car trips. Some of the options in the plan may be expensive to install, like building a new transportation information center and building sufficient housing on Main and East Campus. These options require extensive planning and construction that can be very expensive and time-consuming for CSUMB.
CSUMB's Supply Chain and Recycling Task Force, also known as SCARF, has the main goal of reducing waste and increasing the percentage of recycled material. They have achieved this goal by reducing waste by 23% between 2006 and 2011, and by increasing recycling by 16% in that same time. Waste is important to the action plan of sustainability because of the embedded energy of the things and products we consume. CSUMB's waste proposals align with AB 32 in two areas, in recycling and also in composting. The embedded energy of the products we consume is the energy that product has already used up just by us having it in front of us. I think one of the strengths of CSUMB's waste proposals is Waste Proposal 5 that aims to work with procurement to minimize waste at its source. So the idea here is that you work with vendors that will bring us products that have the least amount of embedded energy and waste the least amount of energy by getting us the food and products that we consume. I think some of the strengths of CSUMB's proposals and where they can most be effective is verifying that all electronic products purchased are at a minimum 5-star certified.
The next task force that we will be talking about is communications. One of the strengths is that CSUMB can easily use platforms that already exist. These include My CSUMB, Google Drive, and social media to communicate the importance of sustainability on campus. The school can use these platforms to show students news releases, new study research, newsletters, etc. Another option is to integrate sustainability into the school's curriculum. This would be a relatively easy change to make and would inform more students about sustainability. One of its weaknesses is that it may be difficult to get students more involved with sustainability on campus. CSUMB needs to find ways to make sustainability more interesting, like create new events or hold contests. This would encourage more students to get involved and participate with the change. For our proposed recommendations, we include monetary incentives. The car ban for freshmen that live on campus would restrict them from bringing their cars from home, and this option would help improve the transportation section of the CSUMB plan. The energy principle that can be applied to this recommendation is Energy Principle 6.2. This states that one way to manage energy resources is through conservation. Conservation includes reducing wasteful energy use, using energy for a given purpose more efficiently, making strategic choices as to sources of energy, and reducing energy use altogether. Implementing this recommendation would decrease the amount of cars being driven on and around campus, and this would hopefully encourage students to use other forms of transportation. Instead of driving, they could ride a bike, use public transportation, or walk to campus. CSUMB would have to do research after enacting this option and compare the results that they calculated to the results that were previously mentioned in the Climate Action Plan. Another recommendation is that CSUMB implements monetary incentives for students that consume less energy. After living on East Campus for 2 years, it is easy to be unaware of how much energy you actually use, since East Campus does not charge students for water, electricity, or energy consumption. If the school initiated monetary incentives, we believe that students would be more motivated to use less energy. Some ideas that we have include discounts on rent and charging a fee for higher energy usage. This option helps the utilities part of the CSUMB plan. The energy principle that it supports is this recommendation is Energy Principle 5.4. This states that energy decisions are influenced by economic factors. Monetary costs of energy affect energy decision making at all levels. If this option is enacted, CSUMB would have to calculate an energy cap that would serve as a benchmark. Then they would have to monitor how much energy is consumed by each apartment and if the apartment went above the calculated energy cap.
A few other of our proposed recommendations include increase the bike culture at CSUMB, a sustainable water recommendation, composting in the dining hall, and a community garden. By adding composting options to the dining hall, we can drastically reduce the amount of waste that is being thrown out and collected. Composting in the dining hall would primarily be a solution for the waste recommendation that aims to work with procurement to minimize waste at the source, along with the recommendation for food number 2, which works to reduce both pre- and post-consumer food waste. By repurposing the food that we don't eat, we can reduce the amount of waste that has to be collected and hauled out by large garbage trucks. The energy literacy principle that this recommendation covers is 6.7, that states that products and services carry with them embedded energy. The things we consume, and in this case don't consume, all have embedded energy that we are wasting and throwing away. The large amounts of waste that must be hauled out of campus by large garbage trucks contribute to the greenhouse emissions that we are trying to fight against. Our next recommendation is the development of a community garden. The idea is to create a community garden where students can grow their food and then can later. The idea is to create a community garden where students can grow food which can later be used in the dining hall. The garden would give students a chance to become excited about something new on campus and would allow them to take lessons on how to maintain a garden, much like the mountain biking lessons that CSUMB already offers. The creation of a community garden would help satisfy recommendations in the food, people, and waste categories of CSUMB Sustainability Plan. Food recommendation number 1 aims to increase the percentage of organic and local food used in our food. People recommendation number 2 aims to increase community health, wellness, and personal growth. And waste proposal number 3 aims to develop a waste component for the Culture of Sustainability campaign. The energy principles this suggestion covers are 5.2 and 5.7. Energy infrastructure has inertia, and energy decisions are influenced by social factors. If students get excited about something new on campus where they can learn and get involved hands-on, then the culture of sustainability that CSUMB aims to develop can grow. The more people are allowed to participate in something new, the more they are willing to share this on social media, and the more sustainability living will become a part of the CSUMB atmosphere. CSUMB can measure how much impact a community garden has by how many people visit